Life, isn't it a roller coaster? One minute you're up soaring, the next you might find yourself plummeting into a valley, surrounded by challenges that seem insurmountable. We've all been there, haven't we? That feeling like the weight of the world is pressing down, and finding a single ray of happiness seems as likely as finding a needle in a haystack during a hurricane. But what if I told you that even in the eye of that storm, in the heart of that darkness, happiness isn't just possible, it's within your reach? I know a thing or two about storms. A few years ago, I lost everything I thought defined me. My job, my relationship, even my health took a nosedive. I was drowning in a sea of adversity, and honestly, happiness felt like a distant memory, a cruel joke even. But slowly, painstakingly, I discovered something life-altering. Through ancient wisdom, particularly the principles of Stoicism and a lot of soul-searching, I learned that happiness isn't something that happens to us. It's not a destination we arrive at when everything is perfect. It's a choice, a practice, a way of navigating the storms. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the practical, actionable strategies I found and that you too can use to find your own sunshine, even when the clouds gather thick and fast. We'll uncover how to cultivate a mindset that allows you to not just survive the storms of life, but to truly thrive amidst them, finding a deeper, more resilient form of happiness than you ever thought possible. First, let's get one thing straight. Adversity, hardship, suffering, whatever you want to call it, it's as much a part of life as breathing. It's universal. There isn't a single soul on this planet who skates through life without facing their own unique set of trials. It's not some cruel cosmic joke aimed at a select few. It's woven into the very fabric of existence. You see, the ancient Stoics, they understood this. They had this idea, they called it the dichotomy of control, and it's a game changer. It basically boils down to this: there are things we can control and there are things we can't. And the sooner we grasp that, the sooner we can stop wrestling with shadows and start focusing on where we actually have power. What happens to us? The external events, the storms that life throws our way, those are largely outside our control. We can't dictate the stock market, we can't control other people's actions, and we certainly can't predict every curveball life is going to throw. But, and this is a big but, what we can control is our response. Our internal world, our thoughts, our judgments, our reactions, that's where our true power lies. That's the heart of the matter. Think about it. Two people can experience the exact same setback. Let's say a job loss. One might crumble, spiral into despair, convinced they're a failure. The other might see it as an opportunity, a chance to finally pursue that passion they'd been putting off. Same event, two vastly different responses, two vastly different outcomes. It's not the adversity itself that defines us, but how we choose to respond to it that shapes our lives. And here's the secret that unlocks the whole thing. Adversity, when approached with the right mindset, becomes a teacher. A harsh one, maybe, but a powerful one nonetheless. It forces us to grow, to adapt, to discover strengths we never knew we possessed. It's in the struggle, in the facing down of our fears and limitations, that we truly come alive. We learn resilience. We cultivate wisdom. We discover what truly matters. Just look at Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, facing unimaginable hardship. Yet he emerged not bitter but stronger, more determined, a symbol of hope for millions. His story isn't just about overcoming adversity, it's about transforming it, using it as fuel to ignite a fire for change. Or consider J.K. Rowling, who faced rejection after rejection before finally publishing Harry Potter, a series that has captivated the world. She could have given up, succumbed to the weight of her circumstances, but she persisted, fueled by her vision, and in doing so, she not only achieved phenomenal success but also inspired countless others to pursue their dreams in the face of adversity. These aren't just exceptional cases, they are testaments to the power of the human spirit, the ability to find meaning, even happiness, in the face of immense challenges. The struggles they endured became the very foundation upon which they built their extraordinary lives. Their stories, and countless others like them, echo the Stoic wisdom that adversity, when met with courage and a clear mind, can be a catalyst for profound growth and a more meaningful life. So how do we tap into that power? How do we cultivate that resilient mindset? Let's explore how to shift our perspective, to see the opportunity hidden within the challenge, and unlock the potential for happiness that lies dormant within each of us even in the darkest of times. Let me tell you about a friend of mine, Sarah. A few years back, she was diagnosed with a chronic illness, something that turned her world upside down. Initially, she was devastated, understandably so. Her life as she knew it was put on hold. She saw her illness as a full stop, an end to her dreams and aspirations. Every day became a battle against pain, fatigue, and a growing sense of despair. But then something shifted. She started reading about people who had faced similar challenges, and she stumbled upon the idea of reframing. Instead of seeing her illness as an ending, she began to see it as a new beginning, a different path. She couldn't control the illness, but she could control how she responded to it. She started focusing on what she could do, rather than what she couldn't. She took up painting, something she'd always wanted to try, and found solace and joy in expressing herself through art. It wasn't easy, mind you, but this shift in perspective, this conscious decision to see her situation through a different lens, transformed her life. It's like two sides of the same coin, this concept of perspective. On one side, you have the negative thoughts, the "I can't do this and this is unfair. Why me?" Thoughts that can trap us in a cycle of negativity. These are what psychologists call cognitive distortions, basically. They're inaccurate thoughts, used to reinforce negative thinking or emotions, telling ourselves things that sound rational and accurate, but really only serve to make us feel bad. They're like those funhouse mirrors that distort reality, making everything look worse than it actually is. But on the other side, you have the power to reframe, to challenge those negative thoughts, and to see the situation in a new light. A practical way to practice this is to write down a negative thought that often crops up, especially during challenging times. For example, "I'm never going to achieve my goals because of this setback." Then, examine the evidence. Is it really true? Are there any alternative explanations? What would you say to a friend who was thinking the same thing? Finally, try to reframe the thought in a more balanced and realistic way. For example, "This setback is a challenge, but it doesn't negate my past successes or my ability to achieve my goals in the future. It might take longer or require a different approach, but I can still work towards them." It is a powerful practice. It takes effort, but it's like training a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger you become. And then there's gratitude, a powerful weapon in our arsenal for shifting perspective. It's so easy to get caught up in what's going wrong that we forget to appreciate what's going right. Taking a few moments each day to acknowledge the good things in our lives, no matter how small, can have a profound impact on our overall well-being. It could be as simple as appreciating a sunny day, a kind gesture from a stranger, or a roof over our heads. It's not about ignoring the challenges, but about balancing them with an awareness of the positive. This isn't some naive, Pollyannish optimism. It's a conscious choice to focus on the good, even when it's hard, and that can make all the difference when navigating the storms of life. It helps you to build a reservoir of positivity that you can draw upon when things get tough. By actively choosing to see the good, you cultivate a mindset of hope and possibility, even in the face of adversity, paving the way for a more fulfilling and joyful life. Now, how do we actually build this inner fortress, this resilience that allows us to weather any storm? The Stoics believe that virtue, things like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, are the only true good. It's not about external success or material possessions, but about cultivating a strong and virtuous character. And at the heart of this is self-discipline, the ability to control our impulses, to act in accordance with our values even when it's difficult. It's about mastering our inner world, so that we're not tossed around by every wave of emotion or external circumstance. Think of it like training for a marathon. You don't just wake up one day and run 26.2 miles. You build up to it, gradually, through consistent effort. Similarly, building inner resilience requires daily practice. It's about setting small, achievable goals and sticking to them, even when you don't feel like it. This could be anything from waking up early to exercise, to resisting the urge to procrastinate. to choosing a healthy meal over junk food. Each time you exert self-discipline, you strengthen your willpower, making it easier to make positive choices in the future. But resilience isn't just about gritting your teeth and pushing through. It's also about learning to manage your emotions, to navigate the turbulent waters of your inner world with grace and composure. This is where mindfulness and meditation come in. Mindfulness is simply the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. Meditation, on the other hand, is a more formal practice that involves focusing your attention on a single point, such as your breath, a mantra, or an image. Both of these practices can help you to develop emotional regulation skills, to become more aware of your emotional state, and to respond to difficult emotions in a more skillful way. I remember reading about a man, a political prisoner, who used mindfulness to cope with the extreme stress and uncertainty of his confinement. He would focus on the smallest details of his daily routine, the feel of the water on his skin during his morning wash, the taste of the meager food he was given, the sounds of the prison around him. By anchoring himself to the present moment, he was able to find a sense of peace and stability amidst the chaos and deprivation. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the most challenging circumstances, we can find moments of solace and strength by cultivating a mindful awareness. And let's not forget the importance of self-care. It's not selfish, it's essential. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being is crucial for building resilience. This means getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, exercising regularly, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. It also means setting boundaries, saying no to things that drain your energy, and making time for activities that nourish your soul. It's about recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup, and that taking care of yourself is not a luxury, but a necessity, especially when facing adversity. When you prioritize self-care, you're not only strengthening your ability to cope with challenges, but you're also sending a powerful message to yourself that you are worthy of care and attention, reinforcing a positive self-image that further strengthens your resilience. By weaving these practices into your daily life, you create a virtuous cycle where self-discipline, mindfulness, and self-care reinforce each other, building a strong foundation of inner strength that will help you weather any storm. A crucial piece of this puzzle, something that often gets overlooked, is the power of acceptance. Now, acceptance in the Stoic sense isn't about rolling over and giving up. It's not about resignation or admitting defeat. It's about acknowledging reality as it is, without resistance, without fighting against what we cannot change. It's about understanding that there are things outside of our control, and that's okay. It's about making peace with the present moment, even if it's not what we envisioned. The dichotomy of control, which we touched upon earlier, is key here. We can drive ourselves to the brink of madness trying to control things that are simply beyond our influence. The weather, other people's opinions, the past, these are all things we cannot change, no matter how much we might wish to. Acceptance is recognizing this fundamental truth and choosing to focus our energy on what we can control: our own actions, our own responses, our own inner world. Think of it like this. Imagine you're sailing a boat. You can't control the wind or the waves, but you can adjust your sails and steer your course. Acceptance is acknowledging the wind and the waves, understanding that they are part of the journey and choosing to work with them rather than against them. It's not about giving up your destination, but about finding the most skillful way to navigate the conditions you've been given. I recall a powerful story about a woman who lost her son in a tragic accident. The pain, as you can imagine, was unbearable. She was consumed by anger, resentment, and a profound sense of injustice. She kept asking, why? Why him? Why me? What did I do to deserve this? These questions, while natural, kept her trapped in a cycle of suffering. It was only when she began to practice acceptance, to acknowledge the reality of her loss without trying to change it or fight against it, that she started to find a measure of peace. She realized that her anger and resentment weren't bringing her son back. They were only poisoning her own well-being. It was a long and difficult process, But through acceptance, she was able to let go of the bitterness that was consuming her and to start rebuilding her life. This reminds us of the Serenity Prayer, a simple yet profound invocation that embodies the essence of acceptance. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. These words offer a guiding principle for navigating life's challenges. They remind us to focus our energy where it can make a difference, and to let go of the things that are beyond our control. Letting go of anger, resentment, and bitterness is a vital part of acceptance. These negative emotions are like anchors, weighing us down, preventing us from moving forward. They keep us tethered to the past, to what should have been, rather than allowing us to embrace the present and create a new future. Acceptance allows us to release these anchors, to free ourselves from the burden of negativity, and to open ourselves up to the possibility of healing and growth. It is in this space of acceptance that we find the serenity to move forward, not forgetting the past, but choosing to focus on building a life filled with meaning and purpose, even in the face of loss and adversity. You see, adversity, as unwelcome as it is, often has this strange effect of shaking us out of our complacency. It forces us to question our priorities, to reevaluate what truly matters. It can lead to a profound search for meaning and purpose, a quest to understand our place in the world, and to find something worth living for, even when life seems unbearable. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, developed a whole school of therapy based on this very idea. He called it logotherapy, and its central premise is that the search for meaning is the primary motivation in human life. Frankl observed that even in the unimaginable horrors of the concentration camps, those who had something to live for, a purpose beyond their own suffering, were more likely to survive. He himself found meaning in the hope of seeing his wife again and in the desire to rewrite his manuscript, which had been confiscated by the Nazis. His experience, as documented in his powerful book, Man's Search for Meaning, is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of meaning. In overcoming even the most extreme adversity, Frankl's work suggests that meaning isn't something we stumble upon by chance. It's something we actively create, even, and perhaps especially, in the face of suffering. It's about finding a reason to get out of bed in the morning, a purpose that drives us forward, even when everything seems dark. This purpose can be found in many different ways. It might be in our relationships, in our work, in our creative pursuits, or in our contribution to something larger than ourselves. I'm reminded of a story about a young man who was paralyzed in a car accident. Before the accident, his life revolved around sports and his physical abilities. After the accident, he felt lost, adrift, without purpose. But then, he started volunteering at a local school, helping kids with disabilities. He discovered a new passion for teaching and mentoring, and he found a new sense of purpose in making a difference in the lives of others. His adversity, though devastating, led him to a new path, a new way of finding meaning and fulfillment. It became a catalyst for a profound transformation, leading him to connect with his community and discover a passion he never knew he had. This idea of connecting to something larger than oneself is crucial. It's about recognizing that we are part of something bigger, a community, a cause, a shared human experience. It's about shifting our focus from our own individual struggles to the needs of others, and finding meaning in contributing to the well-being of those around us. Helping others, giving back, making a difference, these are powerful sources of meaning and happiness. It's a way of transforming our own pain into something positive, of finding purpose in our own suffering by using it to help others. When we connect with something larger than ourselves, we tap into a wellspring of meaning that can sustain us through even the toughest of times, reminding us that our lives have value and purpose, even when faced with immense challenges. Let's talk about the power of human connection. We are, at our core, social beings. We thrive in connection, in community, and this becomes even more crucial when we're facing adversity. Trying to go it alone, to be an island, especially when you're struggling, can be incredibly isolating and detrimental. Sharing our struggles, our fears, our vulnerabilities with trusted individuals is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. of courage. It's about recognizing that we don't have to have all the answers, that it's okay to ask for help, and that there is strength in vulnerability. These connections can be with family, friends, a therapist, or even a support group. The important thing is that we find people who will listen without judgment, who will offer support and encouragement, and who will help us to feel less alone in our struggles. These are the people who will remind us of our strength, who will offer a different perspective, and who will be there to celebrate our victories no matter how small. Finding support groups or communities, whether online or in person, can be particularly helpful. These are spaces where you can connect with others who understand what you're going through, who have faced similar challenges, and who can offer valuable insights and coping strategies. There's a powerful sense of belonging that comes from sharing your experiences with others who truly get it. I remember hearing a story about a woman who was battling a serious illness. She felt isolated, scared, and overwhelmed. But then, she joined a support group for people with the same condition. Suddenly, she wasn't alone anymore. She found a community of people who understood her fears, her frustrations, and her hopes. They shared stories, offered advice, and supported each other through the ups and downs of treatment. This sense of community became a lifeline for her, a source of strength and comfort that helped her to cope with her illness and to find moments of joy amidst the challenges. It was in this shared experience that she found not only solace but also the strength to keep fighting, to keep hoping, and to keep living. And let's not forget the importance of empathy and compassion, both for ourselves and for others. When we're going through a tough time, it's easy to be hard on ourselves, to judge ourselves for our perceived failings or weaknesses. But self-compassion, treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a friend, is crucial. It's about recognizing that we are human, that we are doing the best we can, and that it's okay to struggle. And extending that same empathy and compassion to others, recognizing that everyone is fighting their own battles, can create a powerful ripple effect. It fosters a sense of connection, of shared humanity, that can be incredibly healing, both for ourselves and for those around us. When we approach others with empathy, we create a space for understanding and support, strengthening the bonds of community that are so vital for navigating adversity. So, how do we weave all of this together, these threads of perspective, inner strength, acceptance, meaning, and community, into the fabric of our daily lives? It's about taking these big ideas and translating them into practical, actionable steps that we can incorporate into our routines, even when we're feeling overwhelmed. Let's recap the key strategies we've talked about. We've discussed the power of shifting our perspective, of reframing negative thoughts and cultivating gratitude. We've explored the importance of building inner strength through self-discipline, mindfulness, and self-care. We've touched upon the liberating power of acceptance, of letting go of what we cannot control and focusing on what we can. We've delved into the search for meaning and purpose and the strength that comes from connecting to something larger than ourselves. And we've highlighted the vital role of community, of sharing our struggles and supporting one another. Now, let's bring it down to some daily practices. Journaling can be a powerful tool for self-reflection, for processing our emotions, and for tracking our progress. Meditation, even just a few minutes a day, can help us to cultivate mindfulness and emotional regulation. Gratitude exercises, such as writing down 3 things we're grateful for each day, can shift our focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. And acts of kindness, no matter how small, can create a ripple effect of positivity, benefiting both ourselves and those around us. Setting realistic goals is crucial. When we're facing adversity, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the big picture. Breaking things down into smaller, manageable steps can make the journey seem less daunting. And celebrating those small victories, acknowledging our progress no matter how slow, is vital for maintaining motivation and building momentum. It's important to remember that this is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, good days, and bad days. It's about progress, not perfection. Be patient with yourself. Be persistent in your efforts and trust that you are stronger than you think. You have within you the capacity to overcome any challenge, to find happiness even in the midst of adversity. This isn't about denying the pain or pretending that everything is okay. It's about acknowledging the reality of your situation while also choosing to focus on what you can control, on the good in your life, on the strength within you, and on the support around you. It's about cultivating a mindset that allows you to not just survive the storms, but to truly thrive, to find a deeper, more resilient form of happiness that can weather any tempest. You are capable of more than you can possibly imagine, and by taking these small, consistent steps each day, you'll discover a wellspring of strength, resilience, and joy that will sustain you through any challenge life throws your way. So, here we are, at the end of our journey together. Remember, finding happiness in adversity isn't about some magical switch. It's about cultivating a mindset, a way of being that allows you to navigate the storms of life with resilience and grace. It's about choosing to focus on what you can control, finding strength within, and connecting with the world around you. Start applying these principles today, even in small ways. Start a gratitude journal, practice a few minutes of mindfulness, reach out to a friend, or do something kind for someone else. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. If you want to delve deeper into these ideas, I highly recommend checking out the works of Viktor Frankl, particularly Man's Search for Meaning, and exploring the vast resources available on Stoicism and mindfulness. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Reach out, connect, and keep moving forward. Thank you for joining me today, and I want to leave you with this final thought. The human spirit is capable of incredible things. You have within you a wellspring of strength, resilience, and joy. Embrace it, cultivate it, and let it guide you towards a life of meaning, purpose, and happiness, even in the face of adversity. You've got this.